What should we do when we need to talk to somebody, but nobody wants to listen to us? Or we feel that when we approach somebody and we tell them what's on our mind, that they don't understand what we are trying to tell them. Well, let me tell you the story about St. Anthony of Padua when he was in the city of Rimini, and the heretics didn't want to listen to him because St. Anthony, he wanted to convert everybody to God. But there were some who were very obstinate and had very hard, stony hearts and would not listen to what the saint had to tell them. So what did St. Anthony do? You probably already know the story, it's very famous, but anyways, let's hear it one more time, even if you already know it. St. Anthony went to the place where the river of that city disemboweled into the ocean waters. And there he called upon all of the fish of the sea to come and listen to his preaching. Big fish, small fish, medium-sized fish, many types of fish all came to hear St. Anthony preach. They all stuck their little heads, their fins out of the water. The sharks, the whales, the dolphins stayed more distant. The little fish came closer to shore, and there was a whole myriad of fish there with their heads out of the water, their fins almost motionless, to listen to the great St. Anthony preach. Why? Because those who he tried to preach to wouldn't listen to them. The only thing that he could preach to, the only creature, were the fish. And so St. Anthony started preaching, and he said, "Do you know how much you are loved by God? Because when God chastised the world and Noah put all of the animals into the ark, all of those who were outside of the ark perished, but none of you perished because you were safe under the water. Oh, what a love God has for his fish." And he started going on and telling all the privileges that God gave to the fish. For example, to breathe underwater, to have clear waters to be able to see their prey, and to always have food to eat, and this and that. And he started preaching, and all of the fish started clapping their fins, wagging their tails, and thanking St. Anthony for his great mercy in preaching to them. And of course, slowly the rumor started to get around, and all of the heretics, all of those good Christians, everybody came to watch St. Anthony preach to the fish. Thousands of people witnessed the scene, and afterwards all of the heretics knelt down before St. Anthony and pleaded to St. Anthony for his forgiveness. They converted, and they also ended up preaching the word of God as they should have done. Well, let's get back to our question at the beginning. What should we do when we need to speak to somebody, but we feel that for some reason they're not understanding? Or in other cases, maybe at the time, we don't have anybody who can help us, who is there willing to listen to us. This happens often. This is normal. It's part of our valley of tears here on earth. Sometimes we can't always get what we want right away, but there is always a door open when we need to ask for help. But many times that door is in our heart. We have to go into our hearts. We have to look for God, who is always there, residing in our heart, willing to listen to us. And when we speak to God, when we ask for God's help, it is certain that He will always answer us. But we have to be patient. We have to keep knocking on that door, because those who knock, the door will be open to. And so when we don't have anybody to speak to here on earth, we have to learn to speak to the saints. And that's why we have these programs of the saints, to know more about them. Of course, you don't need to go start preaching to the fish if you're trying to convert heretics and they won't listen to you, to show that the fish have more gratitude than those men of little faith. But we always have to go to God. We always have to go to God. And that's actually what St. Anthony did before he started preaching to the fish. He went aside, he prayed, he knelt down, he folded his hands, he made a prayer to God, asking Him what he should do. And by inspiration, he knew that this miracle would end up converting thousands of people. And well, it's got down to us centuries later, and how good it has done to so many souls who hear this story. They're imbued with faith. Their faith is revived in their soul, and they see, there's a solution. God exists. Heaven exists. And so let's put all of our hope, all of our trust in God, and we look forward to seeing you on our next program, Following the Saints. Salve Maria.